Yo, what's good in the web? This is your man Q back again with some more What You Should Be Role Playing. Unlike previous entries where I go over the top JRPGs and RPGs that you should be playing from over the millions and millions of platforms that they got right now, I decided to niche it all the way down per game, per entry, per video. So I think that this is gonna be like my version of a first impression slash deep dive, which I don't know about first impressions at this point when I'm like $160 into the game. That's like 160 hours for y'all don't know what $160 is. So should you be playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying. This quite possibly might be the best Xenoblade that we've gotten. Monolith Soft has done it again, which is quite a big feat, being that it's its 5th entry into the Blade series and improving on each one. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is an open world, character-driven, combat-driven masterpiece in the making. And no, you do not need to play 1, 2, Torna, or even X to fully experience 3. It would help connect some of the pieces, dot some of the I's, and cross some of the T's later on in the story. If you have played any of the previous entries, you'll tell right off the bat that they took the best qualities from those, improved on them, and then took some of the things that were less appealing from the previous ones and improved on those as well. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is 2 warring colony factions, Keves and Agnes, who have been locked in a bloody war for Queen knows how long. Both factions breed their own soldiers to fight and fight and fight and fight. So basically, cradle to the grave. But the trip part about this is that they only live for about 10 years. Like most RPGs, a chance encounter unlocks the story with 3 soldiers from Agnes and Kelsvik. Y'all know how these JRPGs and RPGs be. A chance encounter has the potential to affect the fate of the world. Unlike both 1 and 2, especially 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 focuses more on a mature and science fiction aspect. This has more of a darker feel where it has a direction of where it's going, and even though it has some of the same type of plot devices within this story, it handles them so much better than 1 and 2. I just found that the story, characters, and the theme was a little more dark, focused, and mature on 3. The combat is the best in the series in my opinion, although it can be a lot going on the screen at once, especially for newcomers of the series. But if you're familiar with many of the new MMOs, especially the likes of Final Fantasy XIV, where you use multiple buttons or keypads or combos and action grids, then the 6 multiple characters plus a hero, it's kind of like a cakewalk. If not, it might take you a few minutes to get adjusted to it. Mainly the target lines, but once you get a hang of it, then you'll be all right. Each character has their own specialized moves, sets, and later abilities that you're able to train for your base 6 characters. This adds a fresh new taste to a standard class grinding system. Plus heroes, there's a lot to unpack. Along with the improved battle and combo mechanics, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 makes sense of its leveling system, which now rewards specific XP for talking and doing quest missions. I promise y'all, I did not grind on this game like I typically do. I was attempting to beat it since this backlog is crazy and there's so many games out this year, but with the addition of XP through quests and XP through different actions and doing different colony missions, my class got beefed up a lot. I love the fact that being able to talk to people gives me XP. And speaking of quests, with 1 and 2 boasting over 100 quests apiece, 3 is no exception. Even post-game, I still find myself with many quests Xenoblade 3 also steals something from its rivals, a camp feature. Train using that XP from all the talking you did, or the quest that you were able to do per colony. Cook and hold specialized conversations with particular party members, or just to gain a little XP to find out what's going on around you in the world. All add an extra spice to an already massive, open, huge game. Gem crafting is back, and thankfully it's not as convoluted as it has been, although I do find that it is a little difficult to find some of those items that you might need for upgrading those later gems. But the heart and soul of the Blade series still lies in the exploration, which is why I dubbed Xenoblade way back in like 2012 during Operation Rainfall, if y'all remember that it was the Japanese version of Skyrim. And for me, that still holds up till this day. But with all the great aspects of the game, it isn't without flaws. They have some kind of weird hair mechanic, and I understand it because Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was pushing the envelope and draining every ounce of graphical fidelity that the Switch could muster. And unfortunately, it could be told with the hair, where they did this weird kind of, the hair really wasn't there, but it was there. It didn't really move. It looked kind of like watercolors. Although that's not really a big deal when it comes to the grand scheme of things. You get used to it really quick. But I did have to point out that there were a little graphical issues. But again, have y'all seen this world? And I can't lie, it still takes me a couple of hours to get used to the British accents. I do understand with the localization from the 2012 version why they did it, how they did it. But now that the franchise has sold over 1 million copies, almost for every unit, I was hoping that, you know, we can get some base American voice actors, although this is too not a deal breaker. And you know, for me, after a few hours, I got used to it again, and then it does kind of add its own extra flair to the game. There are a few other things, but I would just be nitpicking. The good far outweighs the bad parts of the game. Oh, and did I mention? The game boasts a lot of diversity. Thank you, Monolith Soft. I really appreciate it. Not only is one of the main characters in the central party, Tyon, black, but there's also a few more black characters within the central story that actually have an integral role within the story. And one of the things that really impressed me with Monolith Soft when it came to the diversity and having black and brown characters is the fact that they use black and brown voice actors to bring those characters to life. More of this, please. Thank you. The female characters are more than just breastises. Even though I do feel that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 should get Best Ass Award, because they made sure they emphasized in them thighs and them assets. You know, just gonna throw that out there. Right, Uni? Yeah. I've got well over 150 hours into the game, and I've beaten it, and there's still so much left to see and still so much left to do. This is a pinnacle, one of the best Switch JRPGs, if not the best Switch RPG, and is highly suggested if you got at least 100 to 150 hours to spare, that is. But Interweb, let me know in the comment section below, have you picked up Xenoblade Chronicles 3 yet? If you have not, what you waiting for? As always, Interweb, this has been your man Q, your friendly neighborhood geek. If you did like this video, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps out a lot. YouTube be like, hey, people watching and liking. Let's push this video. And if you're new to my channel and you want to stay up to date with all things JRPGs, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I make geekly content here on the channel all the time. And until next time, Interweb, remember to eat, sleep, geek, repeat. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.